Another paycheck gone before you know it? Is debt keeping you up at night? Does dealing with money make you feel lost or even a little clueless? Hey, it's more common than you think, and you're definitely in the right place. TSBA is your financial starting line. No shame, no confusing jargon. Just clear direction to build confidence and take control. Let's get started together. All right, kids, welcome back to TSBA. This is episode 2, and we're here and ready to put more money back in your pocket. Tired of feeling broke? We're going to do a deep dive into cutting those budget drains. Get ready to free up some serious cash here, kids. It's easier than you think, so let's get started. All right. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about budgeting a little bit here. If you want to invest some monies into your tax-free savings account or into RRSPs or all that stuff, you need to find money. And the first thing you want to do is to get rid of some debt. And to get rid of some debt, you need to find some money. So we're going to talk about a few ways to get serious about finding money somewhere. And the important thing here, kids, is that you gotta be able to take the money you save from one place and you want to put it towards debt reduction. That's always a good spot to go. But you also want to put a little bit of that money into a savings account while you're doing debt reduction. You're basically going to want to do a you're going to need a little nest egg is what I'm trying to say here. It's important to pay off the debt, but it's also important to build the savings muscles that you're going to need to move forward and move on. Okay, so we're going to talk about subscription services. That's one of the first things you're going to look at. If you got Netflix, Disney, Hulu, Google, YouTube Music, I don't know. I mean, there's Apple TV, Apple Podcast, Apple Pay. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. There's 1,001 subscriptions out there. The first thing you want to do is just take a look at it. You got to really sit down here and take a look at what you're actually watching, what you're actually using. Go look at your credit card or your bank statement, see where all the money's coming out of. Take a look at it and decide, look, do I need all these things? We downsized our subscription packages down to basically just using Netflix right now, and we've got the commercial Netflix, which just went up to $7.99 in Canada. So that's what we're using. And then, if we sometimes I'll throw on Tubi, on the weekend, and I'll just watch an old show that I like or something like that, and they're pretty good too. I mean, that's basically what you got to look at here. So look at your subscriptions, find out if you can save any money there. I mean, if you can put aside, 15, 20 bucks, let's say, take half of that money, put it on your credit card, debt reduction, take the other half of that money and put it into a tax-free savings account. That's the first thing you want to do. So anywhere you're going to save money, you're going to want to do something like that. Dining out, takeout, all that stuff. Look, I'm not saying don't go to restaurants, don't eat, don't, you got to spoil yourself once in a while. But maybe cutting it back a little bit. I have friends of mine who constantly complain about how little money they have. One of them specifically, he does two extra large Timmies every day. Every day. Two of them. I'm like, bro, just make a cup of coffee once a week at home. Like if you just did even once a week, you didn't go to Timmy's, that would basically be $6, $5 to $6. Multiply that by 4. You got yourself $20 a month that you can put $10 onto your credit card, and that's just cutting it back one day a week. So take a look at how much money you spend at McDonald's and Burger King and Tim Hortons or Starbucks or wherever it is that you're shopping, and try cutting back one. If you go 3 times a week, cut it back to twice, and try that and see if you can actually survive. I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee right here. It's homemade. Watch this. That's right. My kids hate it when I do that. But I slurped and I right after. So if my kids are listening, welcome home. Um, so yeah, so take a look at your dining. Like again, like a lot of the people that I help out, they're going to their local restaurant every day, getting their hamburger and fries or whatever it is, or their chicken or whatever they're getting. Um, so and that's somewhere you can cut. Let's just start with that. And again, this is about, getting serious about getting out of debt and actually building for your future. And if you want to build for your future, you're going to have to make some small sacrifices today. Just going to do a little side note here, but one thing I like to tell people is just imagine yourself like if you're, 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever age you are. Go 10 years into the future. So for me, I picture myself as a 65, 66-year-old person. And imagine that future self talking to your present self. Okay. What would you be saying about your present self? Or what would you be saying to your present self? Would you be saying, hey, you know what? I really appreciate the sacrifices you made at this time in your life so that I could have a better life in the future? Or are you going to be saying, or is that future self talking to you now going like, dude, what the hell were you thinking? You had an opportunity here to, while you were young and healthy-ish, to build a good life for us in the future, but you couldn't stop just thinking of your present self. Those are the two conversations you're going to have. You're going to have one or the other. You're going to have one that's going to be mad at you or one that's going to be happy with you. Which one do you think would happen right now if your future self visited you today? So keep that in mind once in a while. It's a good way to, for me, I like doing it because I really think, okay, like, did you do everything you possibly could to give us a better chance? And that's not about not enjoying life today, because trust me, I like my life. I have a good life. Like, I enjoy it. But I still think of my future self. I still think of the things that are going to be important on my deathbed. And I look back, like, did I spend time with family? Did I spend time with my wife? Did I spend time with my, visiting family when I could and things like that? Those are the things that are really important. But also saving for your future self is important because you want to make sure that you have a good life in the future, right? Like I say, like coffee and snacks and stuff, dining out, you really got to look at that. Groceries, take a look at your groceries. I've talked to people and I've shopped with people. You see them, and this one time a lady was complaining about the price of cheese, and I said, I was like, okay, look, if you just, instead of buying individually wrapped sticks of cheese at quadruple or 10 times the price of buying a block of cheese and cutting it up yourself and wrapping it with saran wrap, like, you're going to save tons of money just doing that. So just buying a lot of prepackaged stuff is often a killer. So just, I know, like, I don't have time to do. I'm going to call bullshit on that because I guarantee you, you look how many hours you spend in front of your computer playing Facebook or watching movies or playing video games or whatever, and then tell me you don't have time to do other things, okay? Because I think most people, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee here. Most people have a lot more time than they think they have. You're sitting in front of I'm not saying that. I mean, hell, look. You can cut cheese while you're watching a movie on Netflix. Get yourself a little cutting board and put it on your living room table. Watch the show and cut your cheese. You know what I mean? That it's not that complicated. I'm just saying. All right. Phone bills. Okay, so this is crazy. So I'm going to tell you a little story here. I called up Fido the other last month. They were raising my phone bill by another $4.55, so probably $6-7 with tax. Anyhow, so I called them up, which I tend to do when they raise my bill, and I said to them, I said, listen, I said, you've got this intro plan. Like, my phone bill is going up to $40 a month. I said, and 45 with tax. So I said, you've got a Fido intro plan for new members. that they're only going to pay $30. So if I've been with you for 20 years and you're going to charge me $40, but if I cancel my account and then reopen a new one, you're going to charge me $30. I'm like, just charge me the $30. Like, reward me for being a good customer. I'm sorry, I can't do that. It's impossible. The math is, we've looked into the science and it's impossible. It's not going to happen. So I said, okay, but I said, let me be clear. I'm taking off. I'm going somewhere else. So anyhow, I looked online. I've been looking online for a little while, and I went to a place called Public Mobile, and I went from paying just over $40 a month for my phone bill to paying $23 plus tax, so about $25 a month for my phone bill. I get 6 gig of data. I get unlimited internet, unlimited long distance and texting and all that stuff. It was actually a better plan because I was only getting 2 gig with Fido. So not only am I basically saving $20 a month, but well, that's just fuck. I get a better deal, but I'm just saying. So look around. I talked to one kid just the other day. She was spending $100 a month on her phone. And I was like, holy smoke. She goes, yeah, but I got unlimited data. I'm like, how much money are you making from your phone? Like, is you making money on your phone? Like, if it's making you money, then yeah, $100 a month, whatever. But there's Wi-Fi everywhere. I mean, I asked her, I said, how much data do you use every month? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, when was the last time you logged into your phone account and took a look and see how much data you use? She goes, I've never logged into that. I just pay my bill. Exactly. So I showed her that she could get like fucking 40 gig of data or something. I think I can't even remember what it was. It was about 40 or 50 gig of data for like 35, $40 a month on this other internet or this other cell phone provider. So now she's going to be saving like $50 a month. I'm like, yeah, well, I'll take that $50 and put it on your credit card. Take 25, put it on your credit card. Take 25, put it into an RSP or into a savings account. That's what you got to do. You got to look around. You got to remember that you are not married to the company. You may enjoy your service, and I'll be honest with you. It took me a couple of years to get out of Fido when I could have gone someplace cheaper, but I was like, you know what? I can afford it right now. It's not that big a deal. It's not worth $5 to move, but it wasn't $5. It was $5 every month, so it was $60. And then I have 4 phone bills that I'm paying, so I still pay my kids' phone bills because they're in school and they're working hard and they're doing their thing, and it's a nice little thing to do for them, right? To have a little Christmas present, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna find the best deal out there. And again, be honest, I didn't want the hassle. Okay, I didn't want the hassle of moving. But you know what? When I went to this other place, I was like, it was not that complicated. I got mine done right away. And then a few minutes later, I said to my wife, I said, you know what? That was so easy. I'm doing yours. And the next day, I did my other kids. And so, it wasn't that complicated. And I'm going to save about $900 a year, bro. $900 a year. Are you kidding me? Yes, that was worth, I think, all in all, maybe 2 hours of my time. At 2 hours, that's $450 an hour every year. That's going to be pretty darn good. I'm enjoying that. So now my sister, she's got 1 gig of data and she's paying almost $60 a month. Boom. We're going to transfer her. I got about 4 or 5 other people I've been talking to. And now that I know how easy it is to do it, that's encouraging. And this is what I talk about on the show too, is that we have to encourage each other. We have to spread the wealth. If you find something good and you can save somebody some money, God, do it. Help them out. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's what we're doing with our friends and family. We're trying to help them out. And I always tell people it's like it's $1 here. My sister always laughs at me, because I remember I used to tell her when I paid my credit cards, I used to pay my credit cards every 2 weeks. So if let's say my bill, and this is when I was in debt, if my bill was like I was making minimum payment plus interest, let's say. I would do it every 2 weeks. I would put a little bit every 2 weeks. And at the end, when I got my credit card back, it would always have like 2 cents like credit because I paid over 2 weeks. So they had to refund me some of the interest they had charged me. And my sister used to laugh at me because she's like, oh my God, it's 2 cents. I'm like, yes, but that's 2 cents every month times the amount of times 12 months a year times the amount of years that yeah, was it maybe $1, $2? Yeah, it was. But you know whose $2 that was? It was my $2. Okay. And if we do that in every single spot in 20, 30 different places, that $2 turns into $40, turns into $60, turns into $1,000. And like I said with my cell phone, it turned into over $900 a year, every year that I'm saving. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So cell phone plans, check that out. Clothing, that's one that really, do, do you really need it? Like like I, I know people who buy clothes, like it is ridiculous how much clothes they buy. Only to give a giant bag of it away every few months to the Salvation Army or to Value Village or to another thrift store. I'm like, oh my God, man, like you gotta really think about the value of what you're buying. I'm not saying don't buy clothes, don't look pretty, don't look handsome. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like, if you got some nice clothes, nobody is gonna notice what you're fucking wearing. Okay? No, and if people notice what you're wearing and they comment on it, those people need to get a life. Is all I'm saying. Okay? So let's just. I'm not saying don't buy anything, but I'm saying buy with purpose. Make sure that you buy with purpose. And then bank fees. Okay. Oh my God, that one. I have not paid a bank fee since I'm gonna say 1995. I think that's the last time I ever paid a bank fee. I'm gonna get my calculator out for this because I don't think I've done it. So I'm gonna say, let's see, it's 2025 today. Minus 1995 equals that's 30 years. Okay, times 12 months a year. That's 360 years. I was paying $9.95 for my bank fees back then, and I'm sure they've gone up by now, right? So $10, that's like $3,600 in bank fees that I have not paid. And then if you take that $3,600 of bank fees that I didn't pay over a span of X amount of time and put a little bit of interest on that, that's a lot more than $3,600 is all I'm trying to say. If you're paying bank fees, you don't have to. A lot of times, if you have enough money in the bank, you can get an account that will not charge you. Like if you have like $1,000 in your bank, they won't charge you a bank fee. But there are a lot of I'm not saying do this bank. I'm not promoting any banks here. I'm saying I use Simply, and they don't charge you fees. So there are there's Tangerine, I believe, is another one that doesn't charge you fees, and you can use their bank card. It's not that complicated, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy saving the money. So that's another one that we can look at too is bank fees and stuff like that. When you're saving money, one of the things I want you to kind of see is so let's say with my phone bill again, right? I said it was like I'm saving it was a little over $900 a month, right? So if you're making minimum wage, let's say $18 an hour, I'm not sure what, I think it's 17.50 in some places, 18, but let's even say $20 an hour. If you're making $20 an hour, right? That's the savings of my cell phone bill, the $900 a year that I'm saving, okay? That at $20 an hour, that works out to 45 hours. So you think about this. If you were to take the savings from your cell phone bill or my cell phone bill and put it aside, that would actually pay for an entire, and that's $20 an hour after taxes. 45 hours. That would actually pay for an entire week of vacation. So by reducing my cell phone bill, I have saved myself 45 hours of labor. That's 45 hours that I don't have to pay, that I don't have to work to pay or basically work for the cell phone company is what I'm saying. And that's how I look at things. So when I buy something, if it's going to, I look at it, I'm like, how much money I make and all these things. And I'm like, hey, is this item worth 60 hours of my time? Is it worth me going to work for 60 hours to own this new laptop, to own this new computer, to own this new cell phone? You know, that's what you got to ask yourself. And who are you buying this for? Are you buying it for yourself or are you buying it to impress somebody else? Because if you're buying it to impress somebody else, well, I'm sorry to say you're probably going to be broke for the rest of your life. It's just, you can't be playing that game. Okay. You just can't be playing that game. All right, kids. Well, listen, I just gave you a couple of ideas of how to reduce your bills. I know that, if you do a quick Google search or something like that, you can find different ways of reducing your bills. And don't try and do it all at once. Just go into one area. So maybe you'll take an entire week or even a month. Take a month and go, you know what? I'm going to look at all the subscription services I have, my PlayStation, my Nintendo, my Xbox, my Netflix, my Apple this, my Google that, whatever it is that you got. Take a look at it and say, this month, we're going to focus just on our subscriptions. How much can we cut for real and still enjoy our lives? Let's find out. And then the next month, you can do the same with your dining, your eating out and your restaurant bills, then your groceries, and then your cell phone and your clothing, and then your bank fees. One at a time, one at a time. Take your time. If you try and do it all in one shot, I guarantee you, well, I can't guarantee you, but I can, for me, I can guarantee myself that if I had tried to do it all in one shot, it just wouldn't work. I'd be like, screw it. It's too much. Fuck, I can't have any kind of life anymore. I'd be throwing my hands up in the air and what's the point of living? What's the point of living? Well, that's what I want you to think about. Okay. Because right now we're talking about your future self. And I want you to think about your future self. I want you to think about yourself 10 years in the future and bring yourself to this day and see somebody who's 10 years older than you, and what are they going to be saying to you today? Are they going to be saying, screw it, just keep buying. Who cares about our future self? We can find a nice shopping cart and a tent and live under a bridge. Or, are they going to be saying, hey, let's throw in a little bit of money here to help us out for the future? Okay. Anyways, I'm ranting now, so I'm going to let you go. And tomorrow we're going to talk about something else. I think, again, the important thing here is to find money in your budget to help you move forward. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. All right, kids, I hope this wasn't too much for you to handle. And if it was, well, listen to it again, I guess, or something like that. All right, we'll see you next time, and enjoy your day. And remember, if you find something that helps you to save more money and to pay off debt quicker, please share it with your friends, share it with people you know, even share it with people you don't like. Because you know what? The more of us who are debt free, the more of us who share our secrets, the better off we're all going to be, and the better off you're going to be. Okay, this is it. I mean it this time. I'm leaving. Have yourself a good one.